Who has the right to auction hunting rights? This article was originally published in Youth Times and was reprinted by Sina. Lawyer Jiang Jia accepted a telephone interview with a reporter from Youth Times and expressed his views on the auction of hunting rights. An auction announcement published in a Chengdu newspaper caused an uproar in the media. The announcement stated that the 2006 Autumn International Hunting Wildlife Quota will be auctioned in Chengdu on August 13. This is the first time in my country that a wildlife hunting quota has been auctioned. The auction of wildlife hunting rights immediately caused huge controversy in all walks of life. Before the auction was held, the public raised question cards. First, is there any relevant legal support for hunting on the grounds of balancing the ecology? Why are bidders limited to international hunting agencies and international hunting event organizers? Do Chinese people have the right to hunt? What is the quota for hunting animals to balance the environment? Will hunting bring disaster to wild animals? Why is the competent Department for Wildlife Protection still the approval department for hunting wild animals? Under public questioning, finally, on August 11, the State Forestry Administration held a press conference and announced the postponement of the 2006 Autumn International Hunting Wildlife Quota auction. The Forestry Bureau said that the reason for the postponement was that the public attention was beyond imagination, and in order to widely listen to the opinions of all sectors of society and improve the auction format and terms. However, the specific timetable after the postponement was not disclosed. Public attention to the auction of wildlife hunting rights. Wang Wei, Deputy Director of the Wildlife Conservation Department, introduced that the 2006 Autumn International Hunting Wildlife Quota auction originally scheduled to be held in Chengdu on August 13. Included 3 national first-class protected animals and 11 national second-class protected animals. The hunting quota involves 14 kinds of wild animals, including Argali, wildebeest, white-lipped deer, blue sheep, dwarf blue sheep, red deer, northern goats, goitered gazelles, Tibetan gazelles, gorals, suro, white-hipped deer and somber deer, with a total of 289 animals. The geographical scope is limited to 8 provinces and autonomous regions including Sichuan, Xinjiang, Qinghai, Gansu, Shaanxi, Ningxia, Inner Mongolia and Hunan. There is a basic price for hunting wild animals. For $40,000, you can shoot a wild yak, $10,000 for an argali, $2,500 for a blue sheep, $6,000 for a red deer, and $1,500 for a Tibetan gazelle. Hunting is mainly for herbivores, and carnivores and birds are not within the hunting range. The only carnivore allowed to be hunted is the wolf, which costs $200 per piece. The hunting quota of wild animals auction on the 13th is the first auction of wild animal hunting rights in the country. It is only open to the international market, which means that it is currently only open to foreigners. The use of quota auctions is equivalent to simplifying the application procedures for international hunting. Will this increase the number of hunters and greatly reduce the number of wild animals? Wang Wei replied that the above-mentioned auction quotas have been strictly demonstrated, and hunting must be carried out at designated times and places to hunt designated wild animals, and follow the principles of shooting males instead of females, and shooting old instead of young, which will not cause damage to wild animal populations. Moreover, all the funds raised from the auction will be used to protect wild animals. The reporter found the auction announcement, which was written in black and white, clearly name of the target, 2006 Autumn International Hunting Quota for Wild Animals, auction time, 1400 hours on August 13, 2006. Qualification of bidders. Bidders are limited to international hunting agencies and international hunting activity organizers. The so-called wild animal hunting quota refers to the demarcation of hunting areas, hunting objects and hunting quantities, and international hunting is simply hunting activities conducted by foreigners in China. As soon as this news came out, it immediately caused a strong response from all walks of life, and various voices came one after another. The auction of wildlife hunting rights has caused 1,000 waves. As the State Forestry Administration said, they did not expect that the social attention was beyond imagination. After learning of this news, the public continued to question wildlife hunting, focusing on whether this move protects the ecological balance or destroys the ecological balance. Why are bidders limited to international hunting agencies and international hunting activity organizers? Do Chinese people have the right to hunt? A young citizen named Chen Min said, "Although the number of wild animal populations in my country has recovered to a certain extent, it is far from reaching the saturation level where killing is necessary. Moreover, nature follows the principle of the survival of the fittest and the survival of the fittest, and can naturally maintain the balance between species of different wild animals. Human deliberate hunting will destroy the ecological balance. May I ask, must we use guns to kill animals to regulate the population?" Although the State Forestry Administration itself says that it will not destroy the ecological balance, the impact is really too bad. Hunting of wild animals in my country has never been completely stopped, and now a window has been opened. I don't agree. Xiaopeng of Beijing Science and Technology News believes that when mandatory protection and market-oriented industry meet, few will not be defeated by money. He said, "It will cost $40,000 to hunt a wild yak, and the cost of hunting a blue sheep will also be more than $10,000, and most of the international hunting agents are travel agencies. I am worried that once limited hunting becomes a tourism project, it will easily become unlimited indiscriminate killing driven by market interests." He said, "Wildlife hunting is done very well in developed countries. But whether this good thing can be done well in our country is very worrying. How much of this income can be used for local indigenous people and how much can be used for wildlife protection? The highest wild yak is worth $40,000. How are the prices of animals determined? The auction of hunting quotas is driven by interests. How to set the price? How to distribute the income?" Gao Junbo, who wrote in the Information Times, believes that the fact of hunting for dollars shows that the Forestry Department can auction the hunting rights of wild animals without soliciting public opinions. This behavior is essentially taking the will of the department or individual as law, which is an alienated use of public power for private purposes. At the same time, the statement that wildlife hunting rights are auctioned to foreigners has caused controversy and doubts in society. Wang Wei from the Wildlife Conservation Department of the State Forestry Administration clarified that bidders are limited to international hunting agencies and international hunting event organizers, which means that the bidding units need to obtain international hunting agency qualifications, not just foreigners. Foreign successful bidders can recruit both foreign and domestic hunting enthusiasts. However, this explanation is still not satisfactory. Many citizens question that this explanation is very far-fetched. If Chinese people want to participate in hunting, do they have to turn to international hunting event organizers to hunt locally? And it is not certain whether these international hunting agencies are willing to bring Chinese people to play. Experts question auction activities. The news of the auction of the 2006 Autumn International Hunting Wildlife Quota is not only of concern to ordinary people, but also to many experts who have expressed their opinions from different perspectives. Is the auction of hunting wildlife quotas legal? What impact will it have on my country's wildlife protection work? Guo Geng, deputy director of the Beijing Elk Ecological Experimental Center, said, "My country's first Autumn International Hunting Wildlife Quota auction is the first market-oriented exploration of hunting activities in my country. I can only say that I understand hunting activities, not appreciate them. Hunting wild animals artificially involves the issue of life ethics, which is what we often call right to life and ecological rights. In Western animal protection areas, it is believed that the best long guns and short guns are those for photography. They have a slogan, 'Please use a camera to shoot, don't shoot.' For animals, I think we should appreciate their beauty, not deprive them of their lives." Jiang Jia, chief lawyer of Legal Encyclopedia, analyzed from a legal perspective that the main laws for the protection of terrestrial wildlife are the Wildlife Protection Law of the People's Republic of China and the Implementation Regulations of the People's Republic of China on the Protection of Terrestrial Wildlife. According to the provisions of these laws and regulations, only for statutory purposes can one apply to hunt wildlife under national key protection, and only after approval by the relevant departments can it be implemented. There are no regulations on auctioning wildlife hunting rights. If the State Forestry Administration auctions wildlife hunting rights for non-statutory purposes, this involves changes in the wildlife protection system and amendments to national laws. At the same time, some ecologists believe that since local forestry departments have economic interests, how many actions can be unaffected by money? Who can guarantee that this limited edition hunting will fully abide by the rules of the game? They are also worried that this move will trigger a crisis of trust among the public, so that the concept of protecting wildlife that has been cultivated with great difficulty over the years will be impacted. The media's emotional reports on this in the past 2 days have, to a certain extent, reflected the astonishment and disappointment of many members of the public. It turns out that wild animals can be hunted. Therefore, it is a good thing that the auction was stopped. If the relevant parties can come up with authoritative data and make a decision through sufficient scientific argumentation and sufficient reasons to explain the rationality and legality of doing so, but I am afraid that we cannot act rashly at present. Reprint description: this is the first time I have expressed my opinion on hot legal issues. The original opinion was on the early Legal Encyclopedia Network. Because it was an intelligent website at that time, the relevant information no longer exists. Fortunately, this article in the Youth Times quoted my views. Also lost is an article "How Can the Government Pay for Illegal Crimes?" published in response to the government compensation for the killing of many villagers by Anping police who left the crime scene and went back to get guns. This article cannot be found anyway. Note: Legal Encyclopedia Network is a website built by lawyer Jiang Jie in 2006. It was closed after the rise of self-media. The website built by lawyer Jiang Jie is now the website of Current Affairs and Law.